Well, the restaurant owned by an Instagram star shut down by the city of Boston. Nusret had a violation.
A Boston restaurant opened by social media star Salt Bae has been shut down for violating safety guidelines.
Salt Bae, aka Nusret Gökçe, went from viral meme status with A-list celebrities lining up at his restaurants to becoming a walking embarrassment. After the fame, everything unraveled fast. Customers allegedly being burned during stunts, crashing major events like the World Cup final, lawsuits from his own staff for stealing tips, empty restaurants shutting down worldwide, and finally being kicked out of a Champions League final he wasn't even invited to. Once known for sprinkling salt on gold-covered steaks, he's now better known for clout chasing, bad press, and security escorting him out of events. This is the downfall of someone who mistook internet fame for permanent relevance. Fans online treated the security team like they'd scored a last-minute winner. The humiliation was unreal. Nusret Gökçe, better known as Salt Bae, tried to save face by hanging around, signing random autographs, acting like he totally belonged, while clearly being pushed further into irrelevance. Then came the denial tour. He jumped on social media claiming he wasn't kicked out, just passing by. In a full tux, sunglasses on at night, at a UEFA event? Nobody buys that. You don't accidentally wander into a Champions League afterparty dressed like a Bond villain. And this wasn't some one-off embarrassment. Salt Bae's brand has been spiraling for years, and this was just the latest chapter. People still remember the 2022 World Cup final, when Argentina had just won and the players were having a once-in-a-lifetime moment. Out of nowhere, Salt Bae storms the pitch like an uninvited wedding guest. He grabs Lionel Messi, pulls his arm, forces a selfie, then goes full cringe mode by holding the actual World Cup trophy like he earned it himself. That moment flipped the internet against him overnight. FIFA was furious, launched an investigation, and effectively shut him out of future events. From that point on, the perception changed. He wasn't cool, mysterious, or elite anymore. He looked desperate, clout-hungry, and painfully out of place. And his excuse? I didn't know. Right, you didn't know you can't run onto the pitch at the biggest sporting event on Earth, watched by billions, that happens once every 4 years. Salt Bae didn't fall off overnight. He overplayed his hand, confused virality with status, and kept forcing himself into moments that weren't his. Now the world isn't laughing with him anymore, it's laughing at him.
Why did you go onto the World Cup pitch after the final, touch the World Cup, and kiss the World Cup? What were you thinking?
You know, I love Argentina. I love football, and this is the accident. Before I don't know the rules. Now I know the rules. Next World Cup, I never touch the World Cup. I go to, of course, stadium, see the match, but I never touch again.
While Nusret Gökçe, better known as Salt Bae, let his ego explode, his restaurant empire quietly collapsed. His flagship London steakhouse saw profits drop by nearly 50%, with brutal reviews calling the food overpriced, style over substance, and all flash with no flavor. People were paying hundreds for gold steaks and leaving hungry, so bad that the restaurant had to roll out 39-pound lunch specials just to get bodies in the door. From sold-out reservations to empty dining rooms, the hype completely died. It wasn't just London. His Boston location was shut down for safety violations, New York closed, Miami got buried in controversy, and even Dubai, once his strongest market, turned into a ghost town.
This celebrity chef is proving to be nothing more than a con artist. Over the past few years, Nusret Gökçe has asserted himself as one of the biggest names in the restaurant world. You probably know him better as Salt Bae. Recently, Salt Bae posted a photo online of one customer's bill from this restaurant. The bill came out to roughly 140,000 euros. The exorbitant price was based on several things, including his famous gold-wrapped meats, along with several high-end bottles of wine. Essentially, what we have here is someone using their fame and celebrity status to price gouge patrons for ridiculous amounts of money. And recent reviews of Salt Bae's restaurant have suggested that the quality doesn't come close to the prices. For instance, Salt Bae's new London restaurant was named one of the worst restaurants in the entire city. Yet, customers are still willing to pay it.
Like, really? 140,000 euros? That's almost $154,000. Who are these people who, even after knowing the taste isn't good and the food isn't worth the money, are still willing to pay? Like, dude, I'd really like to know what those guys are doing. If anyone watching the video knows who these people are, throwing their money away by eating at his restaurant, please give me some work. And also, if anyone else needs a job, comment down below. Who knows? They might take you with them.
Exposing this harsh reality. Price isn't always determined by quality. Rather, the exorbitant prices have helped cement Salt Bae's restaurants as luxury items that can only be afforded by the ultra-wealthy. And those ultra-wealthy customers only pay those prices because they can.
And if you think that's crazy, wait until you hear this. A group of diners in London once received a bill for over $20,000. For what? A few steaks, some sides, and a couple of drinks. You could literally go on a luxury vacation for that money, but instead these people got some overpriced meat with a sprinkle of ego on top. Oh, and don't think this is just about overcharging, there's more. His restaurants have been exposed multiple times for mistreating employees. Several workers have come forward revealing they were overworked, underpaid, and treated horribly. Some even sued him for withholding tips. Imagine working insane hours at one of the most hyped restaurants in the world, only to find out your hard-earned tips are going straight into the owner's pockets. That's the reality of working for Salt Bae.
The 4 employees claim that Salt Bae was taking 3% from their total tips, which was followed by Salt Bae firing the 4 employees after being confronted about it. As a result, the employees launched a wrongful termination lawsuit, explaining that their former boss had an authoritarian, dictatorial attitude who doesn't care about local laws. They even suggested Salt Bae likened himself to Tony Montana and humiliated them on occasions in the lawsuit.
Additionally, Salt Bae's major downfall began with the closure of his Boston restaurant. The restaurant, which was supposed to be a shining addition to his empire, was shut down for violating safety protocols.
This is video posted on Salt Bae's Instagram account of crowds gathered outside Nusret when it opened about 1 week ago on Arlington Street. According to the Globe, the city ordered the steakhouse to close Saturday.
In 2021, Salt Bae's London restaurant posted a job ad offering chefs only £12 per hour, while a gold-plated steak at his restaurant cost £850. This shows that while Salt Bae overcharges customers, he doesn't pay his employees fairly. His Istanbul steakhouse introduced a flashy event called the Tableside Fire Show. However, during the show, a fire broke out, severely burning several customers, including Russian influencer Tanis Tresnikova, who suffered third-degree burns on 35% of her body. This horrific incident proves that Salt Bae prioritized entertainment and greed over safety.
However, an article posted a year after the incident stated that Tanis had received no compensation for the mistake and that the restaurant had instead destroyed all evidence related to the incident.
With so many controversies and criticisms, Salt Bae is now completely losing his reputation. And almost every other day, news is coming out that his restaurants around the world are shutting down due to losses and a lack of customers.
So I pulled up to Nusret. Inside of this place looked insanely nice. And I gotta say, right off the bat, the service was incredible. But that might be because this place is completely empty. We are literally the only people here.
If things keep going like this, the day isn't far when Salt Bae will go broke and become totally irrelevant. One reviewer said the service was great, but they were literally the only people in the restaurant. That's what happens when branding runs on ego instead of quality. Salt Bae's biggest issue wasn't being cringy, it was greed. He once flexed a $140,000 receipt online like it was an achievement, stacked with gold-covered tomahawk steaks and absurd wine prices. The irony is, gold leaf doesn't taste like anything. It's just decoration. People eventually realized they weren't paying for food, they were paying for Instagram clout. Behind the scenes, things were worse. Former employees accused him of skimming tips, firing workers who spoke up, and running his kitchens like a dictatorship. Lawsuits described him as having a god complex, controlling staff, humiliating employees, and ignoring labor laws. In one case, workers claimed they were fired for confronting management about stolen tips. This wasn't a restaurant group anymore, it was a cult built around one ego, showing just how disconnected he was from reality. Add in calling the police on a customer who didn't order a $1,000 gold steak, declining social media engagement, collapsing brand reputation, and endless ridicule online, and the picture is clear. Salt Bae didn't fall overnight. He slowly burned his brand through arrogance, exploitation, and excess. He wasn't a culinary innovator, he was a performance. And once people stopped clapping, there was nothing left under the gold. This is the rise and fall of Salt Bae, a man who turned viral fame into a global empire, then destroyed it by believing his own hype. Fame didn't just elevate him, it rotted him. And now, he's not a symbol of luxury, he's a cautionary tale of what happens when ego replaces substance.